I'm Linnea and welcome to my channel, Fika&Fiction. If you're not familiar with the word fika, that might be because it's Swedish and it just means, having coffee, maybe something baked. Today I'm having tea and some biscotti. I want to say biscotti, but I don't know if they're called something else when they're really tiny. I don't know. Let's dive into the book talk. So today's video is going to be about short reads. Maybe you need something shorter in between long reads, or it's, a new year, you want to get back into reading or get into reading. So yeah, I'm here to offer some choices on short books. So the little stack we're talking about today is going to be this one. There are some categories, but also not. You'll see. Let's start with some classics. So the first one is Animal Farm, or as the Swedish title says, Djurens Gård. Animal Farm is by George Orwell and it's a satire from around 1945, I think. And yeah, it's very straightforward, I would say. It's about animals taking over a farm from the humans to make it more equal, but after a while, something just doesn't feel right. I thought this was fun, easy to read, but as I said, very straightforward. I can also say that this was written as a comment on communism, and this can be read as satire for any society that, where just some people seem more equal than others. Next classic on our list is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. What do I want to say about Jekyll and Hyde? I mean, Jekyll and Hyde, most of us probably know Jekyll and Hyde as the concept, like a two-faced person. They're in movies, there's a musical. And yeah, so I had some expectations going into this book and a little bit thrown off in the beginning that this story is not told through Dr. Jekyll's eyes, as I thought it would be. It's told from another person's perspective, and to me, at least in the beginning, that didn't feel... I wanted to be inside Dr. Jekyll's brain, But it turned out to be a pleasant read. It's like 110 pages. Most of the books will be between under 100 and up to like 170 pages. So yeah, I mean, it's just an interesting tale. This two-faced, did he have him inside him all along? Or, well, read for yourself and make up your mind. Thirdly, and this is the last classic in the stack, and it's a Swedish one, and it's Kallocain by the Swedish author Karin Boye. And this came out in the 1940s. So Kallocain is a kind of drug that's invented by the chemist Leo that we're following in this book. He lives in a dystopian surveillance society, and the drug helps make people tell their most inner secrets, inner thoughts. So what happens to people, what happens to a society like this when they get their hands on this kind of weapon, I would say. And Leo is also questioning, like, do I have thoughts that I wouldn't want the government to know? And how will the government use this drug? And yeah, it's an interesting read. So the next category I would say is like kind of how the books are structured. And I will talk a little bit more about that after the second book. So the first book is by one of my favorite authors, Fredrik Backman. And this is called Och varje morgon blir vägen hem längre och längre. And every morning the way home gets longer and longer. This is such a beautiful book. It's only, I think, 85 pages. Yeah, and I actually reread this for this video because I wanted to give as accurate of a description as I could. And it's just, about your life's memories and what happens when you get old and start forgetting, and what happens with you and the people around you when the mind goes before the body. And Fredrik Backman, he really knows how to convey grief but also the sweet moments of life. And you laugh in one sentence and you cry in the next. I highly recommend reading this and checking out his other books. So, and yeah, this is available in English as well as in Swedish. The next book, sadly, is just available in Swedish, but I want to talk to you about it for a reason, so bear with me. This woman here is Astrid Lindgren, and this here is Sarah. So Astrid Lindgren, she wrote Pippi Longstocking, and Sarah, in the beginning of her teenage years, wrote a letter to Astrid Lindgren, and Astrid wrote back. That started a 30-year-long correspondence between these women. It was 50 years between them, and that makes for a really, really interesting read. It's called Dina brev, lägger under madrassen. Your letters I will put under the mattress. So now we're going to talk about the structure of these two books. So they have really short, I want to say chapters or sections. I mean, the letters in this book is like sometimes 2, sometimes 4, 5, 6 pages long, but it differs and it makes for such an easy read, at least for me. Same with this one. It looks something like this. As you can see, they're very short sections, and to me, long chapters can be really daunting, and I find myself going, oh, there's so many pages left. And yeah, if they're short chapters or short sections, I think that is easier, because sometimes I get, oh, wait, this chapter is just like 4 pages. I can read a little bit more. And then when I get to the next section, it's like, oh, it's just 1.5 page. Well, I can get through that as well. And suddenly you're reading as far as you would with the long chapters, but it just feels easier. And also the correspondence was really interesting. So if you find something similar, check it out and see what you think. It's a little bit over 200 pages, but as I said, the sections makes it so much easier. So the next book we're going to talk about is this one. It's a fable, and it's called Hönan som drömde om att flyga. The hen who dreamed she could fly. It's written by Hwang, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. So this is a beautiful, beautiful tale. And I think the back just describes it so well. This is in Swedish, so I've written down the English one for you guys. So I'm just gonna read that. An anthem for freedom, individuality, and motherhood, featuring a plucky, spirited heroine who rebels against the tradition-bound world of the barnyard. Such a beautiful story. Lastly on my list is Nightflyers by George R. R. Martin. So George R. R. Martin is the author of A Song of Ice and Fire, and this was written way before that, and the writing style isn't as developed, but I still thought this was really good. I would describe this as sci-fi horror mystery, and I don't want to get into it too much. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but it's 165 pages, and I thought it was kind of scary, actually. So if you're interested in sci-fi and horror, check it out. That was it for my short read collection. Hopefully you find something that piqued your interest. And if you're trying to get back into reading, I'm really rooting for you. And if you have any short books that you would like to recommend, just put them in the comments. I'm so interested to know what you guys love to read. So thank you for this book talk, and have a nice day.